at least once a month or so, we hear these drums, and there's students as well, like school students, secondary school students, and some primary as well, like walking up the hill and protesting. All the schools in Bristol, in fact, are involved in this, but one of them is our local nearest school, I think, Bristol Cathedral Choir School, which is a state school just attached to the cathedral over there. And we asked the teachers there to nominate someone to come forward and to explain what they're doing, why they're coming and banging the drums and protesting every Friday since the start of the year. So Molly Sibson was recommended by the school as someone who's a great climate activist and very eloquent, and has come here to tell us what she's doing. So please, sorry, Millie Sibson.
Hi, my name's Millie, and I'm 17 years old, and I'm currently in my last year of sixth form at Bristol Cathedral Choir School. I'm an organiser for the Bristol Youth Strike for Climate movement, and I got involved because I felt helpless. I felt like I couldn't do anything. The youth strikes give me and other young people a voice. They spread hope, the hope for future generations. At 17, I shouldn't be worried about a future I might not get to have. I shouldn't be questioning whether or not to go to university, to get a job, or to even have children. For so long, it felt like us as young people didn't have a voice. We're told that we have the power to change the world, but also that we're too young to know what we're talking about. They say that they value our opinions and they hear us, but in our time of need, they shut us out. In September, Conservative MPs refused to endorse children demanding action against climate change, saying that they'd hear us, but they don't think the cause warrants missing education. But what's the point of education if you won't listen to the educated? In Bristol, we've been striking monthly. In May and June, we did strikes themed around the proposed expansion of Bristol Airport. In September, the world had its first general strike for climate, where students and adults striked together, and there were 7 million people in total. In Bristol, we had 15,000 of them. In October, we got together with people of all ages and different backgrounds and sat outside the council building and held a small citizens' assembly of our own, where we discussed what we want our goals to be for the council and how we want to keep going forwards. And in November, which was our most recent strike, we held an election-themed one, and we invited MP candidates from across Bristol to speak about their party's policies on climate change. This was a really good way to engage young people in the election and to encourage people to vote. But we're lucky because we live in a city that's quite green and already making ways forward into sustainable development. But back in 2018, I think, Bristol was the first city in the UK to declare a climate emergency. And then back in 2019, the rest of the UK followed. So hopefully if we can make that progress and that final step into being sustainable, the rest of the country will follow us. I was asked why we should listen to young people, and I can answer this really simply. It's because it's our future. We're the ones who have to live with it. We've grown up with this all around us. In primary school, you're always told to turn the lights off when you leave rooms. And in secondary school science, you learn all about renewable energy and its benefits. Youth empowerment, by definition, is a process by which children and young people are encouraged to take charge of their lives by assessing their situation and taking necessary action. The world's population is young. In 2017, it's reported that 42% of people are under 25. With such a youth-orientated population, how can the world disregard their protests? If you prefer not to listen to young people, you can listen to scientists. Scientific discoveries around climate change began in the early 19th century, where ice ages and natural changes were suspected to happen because of a newly identified greenhouse effect. Later on in that same century, scientists first argued that human emissions of those greenhouse gases could change the climate. But if science still isn't enough, just take a look at the world around you. Both Australia and Africa are currently on fire, and Israel and Indonesia are flooded. These are real-life issues happening to real people, and they're happening now. You should listen to young people, because we're your children, we're your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, your neighbours, your friends, and we're begging you to help us do something. In order to make change, we have to be the change. That's the worst thing we can do is assume someone else will do it for us. Thank you.